Hello, if you're new to the channel, welcome and thanks for coming over. And if you're returning, welcome back. This video will give you information on how to answer a 12-mark Edexcel GCSE Business Evaluate question. This video contains an example of a 12-mark question and answer, and at the very end of the video, there's a tip that examiners would like for you to know. These videos might also be of interest to you. I will put the link to them in the description box below. So I've taken a snippet of the level descriptor for the 12 marker so you can see what you need to do in order to obtain the necessary marks. So for this question, you are tested on all assessment objectives. So you're tested on accurate knowledge and understanding, AO1B. You need to ensure that you have detailed application, AO2. You're also tested on AO3A, which is about business information and using detailed interconnected points and logical chains of reasoning. And you are also assessed on AO3B, which is having a well-reasoned conclusion. So you must have a conclusion for your 12 marker. There is one evaluate question, a 12 marker, in each paper. It's found in section C and it's the last question on the paper. It's important that you leave enough time to answer the 12 marker. You must also include 5 linked developed strands in your answer and explain them in context to the case study. Do not ignore the case study. You will need to ensure in your answer that you also give an alternative viewpoint. So you need to look at both sides. You could use words such as on the other hand to introduce this alternative viewpoint, or however, or in contrast to, but it's important that you offer an alternative viewpoint. You will see an example a little later on of this. You also must ensure that you make a judgment. So you need to have a judgment, and that's going to be in your conclusion. Now here are some examples of evaluate type questions for paper 1 and for paper 2. So for paper 1, you might be asked to evaluate the impact of a change in interest rates on Pretty Little Thing. You might be asked to evaluate the importance of market research to Pretty Little Thing or another company. That's just an example. For paper 2, evaluate the impact of a merger on a company like Argos, or to evaluate the financial methods of motivating employees in Argos. Now, that is typically how the question looks in the first part, but you also do have an additional part to the question. The second part of the question tends to instruct you to use the information provided. That is the information in the case study. That's what they provided you with. There's so many students who just ignore the case study. I know I said it already, but please do not ignore the case study. If you want to sharpen your application skills, then do check out this video. I'll put the link in the description bar. So the second part of the question asks you to use information provided as well as your knowledge of business. Okay, so you need to ensure that you bring that in. Now let's take a look at what should be in your conclusion. When you're writing your conclusion, you need to start by answering the question. You need to make a decision. Do not sit on the fence. Your answer has explored both sides of the argument. So you might have looked at the advantages and the disadvantages. So now you need to decide what side you've chosen. You need to make a decision. You also need to justify that decision. You need to back it up. It's important also to explain what your decision might depend on. It's called the it depends on rule. The examiners are looking out for this. It might depend on the cost. So it could be of training, could be the cost of training. It could be the cost to introduce this new product. It could be the amount of competition in the market. It could be to do with what other competitors are doing. It could be the time it would take to design the new product. So obviously you need to look at the case study and consider whatever decision that you've chosen and consider what it might depend on. You need to also consider how the decision you made could be implemented. You might want to bring in a new evaluation point into this conclusion and also consider what is the most important factor. Let's take a look at an example of a 12-mark answer. I've underlined the 5 linked strands so you could just see it straight away. You will also be able to see when we're reading it through, consistent application to Jaden's bakery, the area that he's in, also how much money he wants to spend in regards to expanding the bakery. So you will see consistent application, and that's what examiners are looking for also. Now, you would typically see a case study before your 12-mark question, but for this instance, we're not focusing on a case study, we're focusing on the answer. So let's make a start. Evaluate whether promotion is the most effective element of the marketing mix for Jaden's bakery. 12 marks. Promotion is very important to help Jaden's bakery have a recognizable brand. This is because promotion would bring an awareness to consumers of the bakery in the Willesden area and the vegan muffins and cakes that Jaden sells. In addition, this means that there would be an increase in sales of his vegan baked goods, as many more consumers would be aware of the bakery and in turn increase revenue. Therefore, enabling Jaden to feel more confident about spending the £10,000 planned for the current expansion of the bakery. However, conducting lots of promotion could increase costs, meaning that it might have to increase the prices of their hot chocolates and vegan sausage rolls. This could lead to consumers being deterred from purchasing these items, and the bakery could lose sales. So as you could see in the first paragraph, there was consistent application being used, and we used 3 strands there. So let's go on to the second paragraph, continue with the consistent application and also 2 more strands. Promotion could be very effective for Jaden's bakery, as it might help his bakery stand out from the other rival bakeries in Willesden. Jaden may decide to have special offers and product trials on his new vegan cakes. This would be beneficial because it will help to persuade consumers that these vegan cakes and sausage rolls are worth purchasing, more than the other cakes sold by rivals in the local area. This could lead to Jaden's bakery having a unique selling point and thus increasing market share. On the other hand, conducting promotions does not necessarily guarantee success. Jaden may not be experienced enough in marketing to identify the correct target market or carry out promotions that are relevant to the target market. Now we mustn't stop there. Let's finish off with our conclusion. So on to the conclusion. In the first sentence, I'm going to make the decision. To conclude, promotion is not the most effective element of the marketing mix for Jaden's bakery. This is because an element such as product is crucial in a busy area in Willesden that has lots of other bakeries. Furthermore, with the bakery having a wide array of cakes and muffins, product may be the most important part of the marketing mix, especially with the bakery recently expanding into selling vegan baked goods, thus giving the bakery a USP. Now let's bring in the "it depends on" rule. However, whether product is considered to be the most effective element of the marketing mix for Jaden's bakery would depend on the quality of the vegan cakes and sausage rolls that Jaden is selling. Jaden would need to ensure that the chef and other employees adhere to the recipes for all of the baked goods so there is consistency, and perhaps ask customers to complete feedback forms after purchasing the food from the bakery to assess their views and see if changes need to be made. Therefore, product might be the most effective element of the marketing mix for Jaden's bakery. I hope that was useful to you. Let's move on to the tip. Top tip. Your conclusion should do more than just repeat what has already been mentioned elsewhere in your answer. Thank you for watching this video. and good luck with your studies.